welcome back to my channel and welcome the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey by hitting that subscription button. It's free, and hit the bell notification to be notified of the new uploads. I would just like to mention that if the video is a little bit too fast for you, up top there's 3 little buttons. You can click there, slow down the video to the speed you'd like. Also, right next to it, there's the CC letters for closed caption. You can turn that on, and you can read all the stitch that I'm calling down here. By pausing the video, take notes, will make it easier for you. Now, normally when I upload the videos, it takes about an hour for YouTube to search all my words that I'm saying, so it can appear on the closed captions. So don't panic if you don't see right away the closed captions, because the video has just been launched. It will show up in about a half an hour to an hour after the upload. I also would like to mention that if you have extra yarn, extra thread, and you'd like to help the women in need, we highly appreciate it and being very, very grateful for it. Thank you for the ones that already have helped and are still helping. If you'd like to donate, right below the video, there's a little bag of $. You can donate whatever amount you'd like. Nobody's asking for millions. Anything helps. It adds up at the end. You can also go into the description box. My PayPal account is there. You can donate through there if you'd like also. Please always give a thumbs up on the video if you like the video. It does help the video to circulate and also to be recognized worldwide. I gratefully appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's one way to help me out and to help to continue to create these beautiful pieces. Also share on your Facebook public. It costs nothing. Everything is free. There's no charge of anything. So please help out to grow the channel. I do have a Facebook group, private group. If you have a profile, you're more than welcome to request to be a member. It's free, of course, and we'll approve you. You must have a profile. Be careful with the links that you go into the groups that says cut and bit. These are fraud scammers that go through your phones, your computers, and take every information of yours. Do not open up those links. There's a lot of hackers in the groups now. That's why I made sure that my group is private. I want to thank every single one of you from the start being with me, and thank you so much for the newcomers. It costs nothing to subscribe, so please do so. Thank you so much, everybody. Everything will be listed always in the description box for every pattern that I create, the sizes, the thread that I use, which is Portugal thread. They're 100% cotton thread, 4-ply, which is similar to Aunt Lydia. Number 3, which number 3 Aunt Lydia is just a little bit thicker than my thread, not by much, but a little bit. I usually use a hook 3 or 3.5, a small one for tucking in loose ends, and a pair of scissors, of course. So thank you, everybody. Any other questions, suggestions, please feel free to comment. You can always get a hold of me if your intentions are to give some thread or yarn away. There's my email below the description box. There's my Facebook page that you can follow also, my Facebook group, my Instagram, my TikTok. So there's so many ways you can message me. Thank you so much, everybody. I hug every single one of you, and much blessings to all of you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, you guys, so a few days ago, I had launched a tutorial to this Christmas doily. I had done the tutorial on the medium size, and I've explained to you the small one that it was done with 10 rows. In reality, and I had 2 extra when I came to this row here, so I had to cut down. So in reality, there's 10 rows here, but if you go to do 11 rows, you're going to end up just perfect on the right spot. You know, only afterwards when you do these things, because I don't design them in paper or anything like that. They're done out of my head. So only as you're going, then you can see where you could have adjusted. But no biggie, right? 2 singles on here. Very simple to jump them. And the medium one, I have 13 rows. So it's odd numbers. When you finish the doily, like to the size you want, you stop at odd numbers, and then you go ahead in the next row with a single crochet. So I've done the large one, and the large one, I'm going to change up of course, because the large one will have, this one has only 2 rows and the medium has 3 rows, okay? So I'm going to do 4 rows on the large one. Now, in order to do 4 rows, I need to cut already, right from the start here, I have 11 double crochet, so I'm going to have to cut it down on here so it doesn't look too wide, okay? That's why I'm doing the tutorial on this, because I've been questioned, what about if we want to go on the big one, because that section there is going to widen up too much. So since I'm here, this is for someone, so since I'm here and I'm about to start the edge, I will might as well do the tutorial. So you guys want to go bigger, then you know what to do, coming to the edge, going up a little bit, a few more rows, because the centerpiece is, so I stopped here on row 15, okay? Then I went ahead and did my singles. What I'll do is, there was no point of me doing the tutorial on the whole thing because the tutorial's out. I'll leave the link below. You can go and do, if you're making the big one, then you can do all of this section and then come back to this video, obviously, and then we'll proceed the edging, okay, as we're going. So now I'm just gonna grab my white and continue on. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that bell notification. Please help out the channel to grow by sharing. Sharing is caring. And obviously give a thumbs up. It's extremely important. I also would like your suggestions. Give me your opinions. What would you like to see more? You know, that's something that I need to post it up on community because I'd like to know you guys' ideas. Okay? So let's get started, everyone. Of course, this is 4-ply 100% cotton thread. I'll be using a 2.75 hook, similar to Aunt Lydia number 3. Mine's a little bit thinner. Perfect for these type of doilies, Aunt Lydia number 3. So take it from there. And perfect for any season of the year. Perfect for gifts for Christmas now or Christmas decoration. Okay. Of course, you know that you have to have a small one to tuck in your loose ends, and of course, a pair of scissors. Okay, so I'm coming in with my white. So after you create this out of the other tutorial, you need to come back here, and we continue to proceed. So in here, I'm going to do 7 double crochets, okay? So it's already a difference on the chain here, on the not chain, the double crochets, because in the other one, I believe, the other one I did 11, and I'm not doing 11 because we're going up 4 rows, so we don't want to crumple up the pattern. So I'm going to do 7. Trying to hide my thread at the same time. So I have 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do one more. 8. So that's why it's always important to look ahead of the video, because sometimes there's a change of plan. If I see it's too empty here, then I have to put extra ones, right? Okay, so I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I'm going to skip the first one, the second one. I'm coming in and using back loops only, and try to grab the 2 threads back here, not just one, because then it's going to pull too much on the pattern, okay? So I'm using back loops only, and I'm doing single crochets. I have 3. I have 4 singles, so I'm skipping the first and second, and I'm skipping this one here, of course. And then I'm coming back in and doing 8 double crochets. So very simple. We're going to do this all the way around. Let's see if it's not too tight. If it's too tight, then I might have to even add another double crochet. Or I might have to add a single if it becomes too tight. I think that's what I'll do. I'll add another single. So I don't want to have too many double crochets, since we have to do 4 rows of these. It will be too crumpled up, and we can't do that. So I have my 8 double crochets. I'm going to skip this one here. I'm going into the next one. Whoops, back loops only. Keep forgetting that, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 singles, okay? And then come in and do your 8 double crochets. I've done my 8 double crochets. I'm skipping this one. I'm going into the next one. Back loops only. 2 singles. Next space. My 3rd single. Trying to grab right in the middle here to grab the 2 loops. So my 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then coming directly into the space and doing my 8 double crochets again. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to skip the first one, going to the second one. Single, single, 3rd single, 4th, and 5th, and go directly again. Okay, so we're going to do this all the way around, and then I'll come back to you again at the end. Okay, you guys, so I finished the row. I've closed in with a slip stitch. I'm going to come back in that same double crochet, and we're going to do the 8 double crochet again. Okay, so single 2 chain, next double crochet, double crochet, next space, double crochet, next space, double crochet. So it's just a repeat now. Crochet over double crochet, so you'll have 8 of them again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm going to skip the first single, going to the second. Next single, next single. So now we have 3 singles. So we're skipping the first single and we're skipping the last. I'm coming back in again with the 8 double crochet. Okay, so it's just a repeat now all the way around. And again, skip the first space, come into the second, single, single, and single. So we're going to have 3 singles. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I finished this row. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stretch my thread. I'm not going to cut it because we still need to continue with the white. But I'm coming in with my bling bling red gold. I know it's kind of hard to see on camera, but as you can see here, the shine, that's all the gold, okay? And we're going to do slip stitch all the way around this row between the first row of the white and the second, okay? So I'm going to come in right in between the first double crochet and the second here on the first row, and I'm going to pull my thread to the front from the back. Okay, just like that. Get my attention here properly. Now, you don't want to tighten it too much, because if you tighten too much on this chain stitch, your pattern is going to crumple up. So you have to give it some loosage, not baggy, but loose enough so it does not crumple up. Now, usually for people that have like an extreme tight stitch. What you can do is you can go with a bigger hook and do your slip stitch in between each row with the bigger hook. Okay, so this way your pattern won't crumple up. Okay, so one slip stitch per space, as you can see I'm doing here. And you're just going to do this all the way around. And then you're going to cut your thread of the red. And we're going to continue with the white. Okay, so just slip stitch all the way around. Now camera's on my face. I have a hard time seeing the stitch, of course, because I'm filming with my mobile phone. So I have to speak into that speaker of the mobile, and it has to be like right up my face. So a lot of times you will hear me sort of like whistling, but it's not whistling. It's because my mouth is so close to the speaker, which I had once upon a time. Some lady commented saying that I whistle too much. Anyway, I found that pretty nasty, but anyway. You can't please the world, can we, people? We can only try our best. Now, funny enough, I had just, made the comment back to her. Or not even. I didn't make the comment back. I made a little video saying that was pretty nasty. I mean, I could have had a deficiency in my mouth and could have had a problem on speech, speech problem, whatever. Anyway, so you're going to do this like that. You don't want it too baggy, but you don't want it too tight either, because too baggy, the stitches are going to look pretty ugly. So you got to tighten it up a little bit, but not to the point where it's going to crumple up. Now, it's normal if it cramps up a bit because all the stitches are being together. So that's how you're going to do, and I'll meet you at the end after we cut our thread. Okay, you guys, so I pretty much finished doing all my slip stitch. I'm going to pull just a little bit of my thread here, and I'm going to pull this thread to the back so we're going to have a nice finish. Okay, so I pulled it to the back. I'm just going to give it a little knot here with the thread passing through that loop. And I'm going to give it about 2-3 knots. And that would be perfect if you had like material glue to put a little dip so it doesn't come out. That would be like awesome. So get it nice and tight and do like another knot here. And then with my smaller hook, just get this red one out of the way before I get all tangled up. And I'm going to pass my thread in between the red here and bring it just into just a few loops so it doesn't come out of place, of course. And I'm just gonna cut it up and do the same thing on the other side. So pull the thread in between the red. I'm going to do a knot here, just like that, and then another, pull through another one here. And it just gives you that nice little perfect finish. Now I'm going to continue again with my white. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to just close up this row here. So we're going in with the white to do the third row. Now I'm going to do, so I closed in with a slip stitch. Let me just get it into the right space here. Come back in and do a single and 2 chain. Now we're going to have to increase 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end, okay? Because the pattern will pull too much together if we don't do these increases. So we have 2 double crochet on the first one, then 1, 2, 3. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 in the bottom, and we're doing 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, 4, 6. 7, 8, 9, and one more on the same space, 10. So now we have 10 double crochets. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a single, and in the next space another single. It doesn't matter if we're only skipping one single here, the first one. It doesn't matter if we're on the second one. We cannot have the pattern to be pulling too much together, okay? So we'll have 2 singles here. So we skip the first single, going to the second and then to the third one, and then add 2 together on the first double crochet, okay? Or the pattern is going to pull together. It's going to turn like a hat. So we need to add stitches on there. And then 2 double crochet on the first double crochet and add 2 at the end. So you'll have a total of 10 double crochets. Okay, so the last double crochet here, we're going to add 2 together again. Okay, we're going to skip the first single, go into the second, do a single, and then right after another single. So the pattern can stay nice and flat and not pull together. Okay, because it will tend to pull due to the fact of these little, of the slip stitch, okay? Even if it's a little bit turny like this, that's okay. Because once we put the softener for blocking and a little bit, well, either you can light iron or just let it dry nice and stretched out. It will all fall into place, okay? So again, 2 together on the first double crochet, and then 1 per space and 2 at the end. Don't forget, when you get to the single, skip the first single and then do 2 singles, 1 per space. Okay? And then 1 more here. So make sure you have your 10 double crochets. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I pretty much finished my row. Now we're going to go back and do the slip stitch again in between the second and third row with a single, and you cannot tighten it up or you're going to pull too much on the pattern. So again, you grab your bigger hook, even a little bit of string so we can tie in the end when we get to it. Just going to pull my white out of the way, and I'm going to start it more or less where the white is, okay, because we have 1 more row of the white to do. So come in again between your double crochets here in the space, bring your thread to the front, and we're going to proceed the same way as we just did with the other row. So slip stitch, and don't tighten it too much or your pattern is going to pull too much together. Now if you feel it's already pulling, just give it a little bit of loosage on your slip stitch and you'll be fine. Make sure you do one per space, and I'm just loosening up my tension. I'm not putting it baggy, but I'm really just going with the flow on it. I don't want the pattern to tighten up or it's going to curve like a hat, okay? So that's the trick to doing this kind of slip stitch, okay? So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, like I said, if you tighten it too much, it's going automatically, because it's a slip stitch, it's starting to fold a bit. But if you stretch it a bit, it's, you know, if it's loose enough and you stretch it a bit, especially when you're gonna block it, it will be fine, okay? Another thing that I want to show you is, I'm supposed to be showing you, but sometimes I forget. So give it a good loose stitch. Even if you think, give you an example, if you look at the stitch, you're going to say, oh my God, but it looks so wide. It doesn't matter, because once you stretch, when you're going to block it or iron it lightly, look, the stitch pulls and it goes into place. So don't be afraid of giving a good loose stitch and don't tighten it on here, okay? So I'm just pulling my hook like almost a 90-degree angle here, okay? And just loosen up pretty well. Even if the stitch looks like it's wide, if you look at it like that, right? It looks like it's pretty much open stitch here, right? Like that. Look how loose that is, right? Now, when you're going to pull on it, look how tight that looks, okay? So that's why you have to give it loosage to this slip stitch, because now there's a lot of stitching in there to go all the way around, right? Okay, so once we spray to block and we stretch it, it's going to be nice and flat. But if you tighten it, it's going to look like that. It's going to fold in like a hat. Now, I'm not worried, because now I haven't blocked it yet and I haven't stretched it. But once I do, it's all going to come nice and flat. Okay, so I finished doing that. I'm going to go in where I have my magic circle just to tuck in my loose end here. Now, a lot of you that follow me know how I tuck in my loose end, but there's always newcomers that don't know. So I always have to make sure to remember to show them how this works, right? So basically you just tuck in, going around here on the first loops of the first double crochet on your magic circle, and then go around it, you know, a little bit at least, just to have it blocked in, and then it becomes nice and clean, right? Okay, so onto my white, and we'll be doing the last row of the white. So this last row, we're going to come in the same space again, do a single, 2 chain, and 1 more for space. Come back in the same space, another double crochet, 1 chain space, into the next space, and 1 chain space, double crochet into the next space, 1 chain space between it, double crochet, and again. So we'll have the increase, 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end. Now you could have also done, let's say, red on your second row, and then red here, and then finish off the peacock if you wanted to with white. That's your option too. There's so many ways to go about this, because I'm doing this as a set. So I'm going to keep it in the same way as I have the other ones. Okay, so the last double crochet, we're going to add 2, but 1 chain space between them. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'm going to come directly See if this works. If not, then no, I don't like that. So I'm going to come where I have my single, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch, okay? And then back again into my first double crochet, one chain space, and again another one, increase on the same space. One chain space, next space, double crochet, one chain space, double crochet. So it's just a repeat. The only increase is 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end, and then we can cut our thread. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. One chain space, and again. Last one, we're going to do 2 together, but one chain space between them. We're going to come in where we have the single, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch. And then proceed again. Double crochet on the first double crochet, one chain space, and the second double crochet in the same space. Okay? And I'm just going to stretch it here. Now it's going to get better once we block it with the softener, laundry softener, and we're going to be good. So we'll be adding again the slip stitch here, and we must do the same thing, very loose, so it doesn't pull onto the pattern, okay? There's no need for me to keep repeating. You already know how that goes. So I'm going to finish mine here. I'm going to do my slip stitch. I'm not going to record because it's the same thing as we did, and then I'll come back to you for the edging, okay? Okay, everyone, so I pretty much did my last row of the slip stitch. Now, of course, it turns a bit, which is normal because the stitches are a little bit tight. But like I said, as long as it's not turned completely, you're good to go. If it's turning completely, it's because your slip stitch is too tight, okay? Now, the way mine is, even if it turns a bit, it looks all crumpled up a little bit. Once I spray my softener and stretch it out and light iron over it, or you can just lay it flat somewhere when it's damp, nicely stretched to block. Let it dry naturally. It will all go into place, okay? So I'm on my last one. We're going to do the singles and the little peacock here. So I'm going to come in between my first and second double crochet with a single. Of course, my first stitch is always so tight, right? And I'm going to do 1, 2. No, what am I doing? I'm not doing no peacocks here. Good heavens. Okay, so I closed in my single. I'm coming into the next space, single. Okay, so between the where we have the 2 double crochets together, next space, single. So now we have 3. Trying to hide my thread as I go. 4, 5. On my 6th one, 6 single, I'm going to do a single. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come back in. Now you can do slip stitch or do a single. It's up to you. Same space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. Come back in, do a slip stitch or a single. 1, 2, 3 chain again. So it's creating like a little leaf sort of thing. Okay. Now again, you're going to repeat the same way, no different than the other ones we've done or I've done. I don't know if you have created already the other medium one. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to continue 4 and then 5 because obviously the 6th one is in the middle of all of them. Okay. And then we're going to come between, actually you're going to come where we did the slip stitch, and you can just do a slip stitch there. Come between the first and the second double crochet, or you can do a single there if you'd like. It's up to you. Probably best to do a single. I have the other ones are done with a single, so I guess I'll follow the same thing. I almost forgot that I had singles on there. Okay, so I'm going to come right where I did that slip stitch. And I'm going to do a single. Next space. Single. One, two, oops, why do I keep doing that? Because I'm so used to doing peacocks, right? Next space. Single, second single, third single, fourth, fifth, and on my sixth one, I'm going to do my little leaf. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now, if you want your little leaves to be a little bit longer, or you can do a slip stitch here, like I mentioned, slip stitch or a single. It's really up to you. If you want your leaves to be a little bit longer, you can do more chain to it. Let's say chain 5, and then the middle one, chain 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, chain. Back in, and again. 1, 2, 3, back in, and again. And then proceed again with the singles. So, this pretty much does it for this tutorial again. I hope you enjoyed it. I will leave the link below. I'm also going to show you, well, a little video and pictures at the end. Now, if you look at it, you can see it's all like crumpled up a bit, right? Even if I stretch it, it's going to tend to fold a bit here. See? Now, you'll see on the video and on the pictures that once I spray my softener, I don't know what happened to my bottle, probably fell somewhere. So any laundry softener will do. I have this little plastic bottle with the laundry softener. I was just sneezing my brains out. And it's chilly here. Oh my God. And so I would spray, I would stretch it well, leave it dry. In my case, I'm always doing tutorials. I don't have time to be wasting to let it dry on its own. So I light iron over it. And it's going to become nice and flat, as you see here with this one. And it just stays in place. Okay? So thank you so much, everybody. Stay tuned for the picture, the reveal shots, and the little video. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up. I'll leave all the measurements below and the link also to the beginning of the pattern. Thank you, everyone. Until next time, God bless. Stay safe. Much love, much hugs to every single one of you. God bless.